The first light of dawn spills over the tranquil village, casting a tender glow over the world as if nature itself holds its breath. Hiroshi kneels before his pottery wheel, his fingers dancing with the clay in a familiar rhythm. His movements are deliberate. Each spin a conversation between the earth and his soul. "The clay remembers," he murmurs, his voice a whisper that barely rises above the gentle rustling of cherry blossoms outside the open window. The air is crisp with the promise of a new day. In the doorway, Emiko stands, her presence a quiet interruption in Hiroshi's solitary world. Her eyes seek understanding in the silent space her brother inhabits, a space occupied by muted dreams and unspoken words. "Do you still dream of her?" she asks softly, her voice tinged with the longing that mirrors the morning mist. Hiroshi remains silent, his gaze never leaving the turning clay. He pours his heart into the vessel forming beneath his hands, each motion a testament to memories he cannot shake. Emiko steps further into the room, the floorboards creaking beneath her careful tread. The scent of fresh earth mingles with the faint perfume of cherry blossoms. She watches the wheel spin, watches Hiroshi's focus unwavering, as if the world outside holds no sway over the sanctity of his craft. Her heart aches with the desire to bridge the gap between them, to understand the absence that fills the spaces in their home. "Brother," she calls again, her voice softer now, a gentle caress in the morning air. Hiroshi's fingers pause, the clay resting in his palms as he turns to face her. His eyes meet hers, and for a moment there's a flicker of something. A story untold, a sorrow unshared. Yet he remains silent, the only sound the whisper of cherry blossoms brushing against the window, and the wheel's slow, deliberate turn. Emiko's lips curve into a sad smile, understanding that some dreams remain. Unspoken, some memories too sacred to articulate. She steps back, allowing the room to reclaim its quietude. "I'll be here," she promises, her voice a gentle thread that binds them. "Whenever you're ready." Hiroshi nods, a silent acknowledgement, as his hands return to the clay. The wheel resumes its steady spin, the vessel beginning to take shape once more. And outside, the cherry blossoms sway in agreement, their dance a gentle echo of the rhythm within. Hiroshi climbs the narrow ladder to the attic, each step a creak echoing in the quiet. His fingers brush against cobwebs as he searches, the dim light casting shadows that dance like ghosts across wooden beams. He opens a window, letting in a breath of fresh air that stirs the dust in swirls of soft luminescence. His gaze falls upon an aged wooden box, nestled among forgotten relics. Its hinges protest with a low, mournful groan as he lifts the lid. "What is this?" Hiroshi murmurs, curiosity piquing his voice. He pulls out a yellowed envelope, its edges frayed with time, the familiar stroke of Yuki's handwriting looking back at him like a tender ghost. Sitting cross-legged on the floor, he unfolds the letter with reverence. The words, though faded, speak loudly in the silence, each sentence a brush of memory against his soul. As he reads, the room seems to sigh, the walls whispering the secrets of yesteryears. A gentle breeze carries the scent of plum blossoms, wrapping him in an embrace as intimate as the touch of her hand once was. Emiko's voice drifts up from below, like sunlight filtering through leaves. "Hiroshi, are you all right?" she calls, her tone edged with concern and curiosity. Hiroshi hesitates, the words caught in his throat like a fragile bird. "I found something of Yuki's," he finally replies, his voice a thread pulled taut between past and present. Emiko climbs up, her steps soft yet purposeful. She kneels beside him, peering at the letter with eyes that mirror his own longing and loss. "It's like she's here with us," she says, her whisper as delicate as the plum blossom, scent that lingers. Hiroshi nods, the weight of her presence both a comfort and an ache. "Do you ever feel her near?" Emiko asks, searching his face for truths unspoken. Hiroshi closes his eyes, the memories vivid and alive beneath his lids. She's never far, he admits, the confession a balm and a burden. Umiko touches his arm, her gesture a silent solidarity. We all carry the past with us, but maybe it's time to let it breathe, she suggests gently, her words echoing like a soft bell through the attic's stillness. Hiroshi looks at her, the bond of their shared grief pulling them close. Perhaps you're right, he muses. His heart caught between the echoes of Yuki's laughter and the promise of tomorrow. As the plum blossom scent fades, he resolves to find peace amidst the memories. The old wooden box now a vessel for the love that refuses to fade. The sun begins its low descent, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink. Hiroshi finds himself drawn to the ancient cherry blossom tree, its gnarled branches whispering tales of seasons past. He settles beneath its canopy, the soft crunch of fallen petals beneath him. His gaze drifts upward, following a petal as it floats gently, to the ground. Life is but a fleeting moment. A voice breaks the stillness, as old Kenji, with his cane tapping a gentle rhythm, approaches with a knowing smile. Hiroshi nods, acknowledging the truth in the elder's words. The blossoms fall, yet they return. With the seasons, he replies, his voice carrying the weight of unshed grief. Old Kenji lowers himself beside Hiroshi, his bones creaking like the ancient tree they sit beneath. The heart. It remembers what the mind sometimes forgets. He pauses, watching Hiroshi's fingers brush thoughtfully across a fallen blossom. Have you found what you seek, my boy? Hiroshi exhales slowly, the sound mingling with the evening breeze. I found a letter, he confesses, his voice barely above a whisper. From Yuki. Kenji's gaze softens, filled with the silent understanding of shared sorrows. The past has a way of holding on to us, much like these blossoms, clinging to the branches. As the wind stirs, petals dance around them, a gentle storm of memories. Hiroshi picks up a petal, tracing its delicate veins with his thumb. She was the spring in my life, he murmurs, his heart heavy with the weight of unspoken words. And what is spring without its renewal? Kenji asks, his eyes reflecting the fading light. We are but vessels, Hiroshi. Sometimes we must let go to make room for what is to come. Hiroshi looks into the depths of the old man's eyes, searching for courage amidst the swirling doubts. But how? Do you let go of what was once everything? Kenji offers a wistful smile, his fingers brushing the earth as if to remind it of its purpose. By finding the beauty in what remains, by honoring the love that was, and by trusting that the seasons will bring their own gifts. The two sit in silence, the air thick with the scent of cherry blossoms. The sun dips below the horizon, casting the world in twilight's embrace. Hiroshi, feeling the gentle nudge of understanding, closes his eyes, imagining Yuki's laughter amidst the falling petals, a symphony of what was and what still could be. The moon hung low, casting a silvery glow over the village as Hiroshi stood amidst his pottery, each piece a silent witness to his midnight vigil. A soft rustle disturbed the stillness, a whisper of silk against silk. Yuki's spirit emerged from the shadows, her presence palpable yet ephemeral, like a dream teetering on the edge of consciousness. Why are you here? Hiroshi asked, his voice carrying the tremor of old wounds, the air between them thick with a mix of fear and yearning. To remember what we once were, she replied, her voice a gentle echo of the past, eyes shimmering with the light of stars long faded. Her smile, framed by the soft light of the moon, was a blend of sorrow and joy, a bridge between the worlds they inhabited. Hiroshi's heart ached, a deep, resonant throb that pulsed in time with the shadows that danced around them. He took a step closer, drawn by an unseen force. Is it cruel To hold on to something that can never be, he whispered, his words fragile like the petals of a cherry blossom caught in the breeze. Cruelty lies not in remembrance, Yuki answered, her form swaying gently like the leaves in the night wind, but in the refusal to live, to embrace what life still offers. Her voice was a balm, soothing the jagged edges of his grief, yet igniting the embers of a choice he feared to confront. Silence enveloped them, deep and profound, save for the gentle rustle of leaves overhead. Hiroshi's gaze lingered on her, tracing the contours of a face etched in memory yet alive before him. "What if I'm afraid?" he finally asked, his voice breaking like waves upon a distant shore. Yuki extended her hand, her touch a whisper of cold, yet filled with the warmth of understanding. "Fear not the past, but the chains it forges," she said, her eyes meeting his with a clarity that pierced the night. "We were meant to learn, not to linger." Her words wrapped around Hiroshi, both a comfort and a nudge toward the precipice of his decision. He nodded slowly, acknowledging the truth in her gaze. "Then, let us remember," he conceded, the weight of his choice settling like dust upon old memories. Together they stood, two souls suspended between worlds, the moonlight weaving their shadows into one. The world around them held its breath, waiting for the dawn's gentle light to reveal the path Hiroshi would choose. Beyond the echo of lost dreams. Emiko approached Hiroshi with a gentle curiosity, her footsteps soft against the wooden floorboards. The morning sun cast a warm glow around them, its light filtering through the paper screens, creating patterns of fleeting beauty. She paused, observing her brother as he stood by the window, lost in thought, the love letter still clutched in his hand. "You seem different," she began, her voice a soft melody that broke the silence. As if speaking to someone unseen, Hiroshi turned slowly, meeting her gaze with eyes that held stories untold, depths uncharted. The air between them felt charged with unspoken truths, a fragile bridge built upon shared memories. He hesitated, then spoke with a quiet resolve that echoed the wisdom of ages. "Sometimes the past refuses to let go," he confided, choosing his words carefully, each one heavy with the weight of emotions lingering just beneath the surface. Emiko moved closer, her presence a comforting balm against the chill of ghosts that clung to Hiroshi like shadows. Her expression was a mirror of understanding, a silent promise of support etched in the lines around her eyes. "Is it Yuki?" she asked, the name hanging in the air like a delicate thread connecting them to a time now gone. Hiroshi nodded, his heart a landscape of memories, both painful and cherished. "She visits me." "In dreams," he admitted, his voice a whisper carried by the gentle breeze that swayed the cherry blossoms outside. Emiko reached out, her hand resting lightly on Hiroshi's arm, her touch grounding him in the present. "What does she say?" "She reminds me of what we once were," Hiroshi replied, his words a tapestry woven with threads of longing and hope. "But she asks me to choose." Emiko's eyes softened, her heart reaching out to the brother she wished to protect, from the ghosts of yesteryears. "And what will you choose?" she inquired, her tone a blend of encouragement and concern. Hiroshi looked beyond the window, his gaze finding solace in the sway of the cherry blossom branches, their petals a dance of ethereal grace. "To let go," he said, the realization settling over him like the first snowfall of winter, bringing with it a profound sense of clarity. Emiko nodded, understanding the courage it took to release the past, to embrace the unknown future. "Whatever you decide," she assured, her voice a gentle caress, "I will stand by you." Together they stood, bound by love and shared history, as the morning light bathed them in its tender embrace. The cherry blossoms outside whispering promises, of renewal, the promise of hope. The sky darkens as the storm's fury descends, the winds howling like restless spirits. Hiroshi stands amidst the swirling chaos, his heart a battleground of longing and fear. Raindrops cascade over him, mingling with tears he cannot hold back. Shadows twist through the torrents, and suddenly, her presence materializes beside him, a spectral silhouette of moonlit grace. "Yuki," he breathes, her name a tremor on his lips. "Why do you linger here? With me?" Her voice carries on the wind, soft yet unyielding. "Because some bonds, Hiroshi, are not bound by time." She reaches for his hand, her touch ethereal and cold, sending shivers through his soul. The world around them fades, leaving only the storm and their shared past. "What do you ask of me?" Hiroshi's voice trembles, caught in the dance of rain and memory. "To remember," she whispers, her eyes deep pools of moonlit sorrow. "To keep alive the promises we made beneath the cherry blossoms." Hiroshi closes his eyes, the storm's embrace tightening around him, his heart torn between the life he knows and the love that lingers. "And if I cannot?" he asks, his words nearly drowned by the tempest's roar. "Then let me remain," Yuki replies, her voice a melody of longing. "In this half-light, between worlds." The winds wail, twisting their words into echoes that linger in the air. Hiroshi's resolve wavers, caught between the spectral beauty of her plea and the life that pulses beyond the storm's veil. He opens his eyes, meeting her gaze with a heart laid bare. "This can't be," he murmurs, the rain anointing his face with baptismal grace. "I am of this world, Yuki, and you," her smile, "is bittersweet, a reflection of the struggle within. And I am of memories," she finishes, her form flickering like a candle in the wind. "I am what was, and what might have been." The storm's fury peaks, a crescendo of nature's lament, and Hiroshi stands resolute. His heart aches with the understanding that love's true burden is its enduring echo. As her form fades once more into the storm's embrace, he whispers, "Goodbye, my love." The words a promise of release. The storm begins to ebb, leaving a quietude heavy with the fragrance of plum blossoms. Alone, beneath the tempest's passing shadow, Hiroshi finds himself bathed in a new dawn's light, a singular truth stirring. Within, a love remembered, yet set free. The morning light spills through the window of Hiroshi's workshop, casting a serene glow over the room. The gentle hum of the village beyond filters in, a comforting melody of life continuing. Hiroshi stands at his pottery wheel, his hands stained with clay, his heart heavy with the weight of decisions yet to be made. The air carries the faint scent of cherry blossoms, a reminder of both beauty and transience. Old Kenji enters with a quiet grace, his presence like a warm breeze on a cold day. He pauses at the threshold, observing Hiroshi's silent struggle, his eyes soft with understanding. "Hiroshi," he begins, his voice a soothing balm. "This silence, it speaks louder than any words." Hiroshi glances up, meeting old Kenji's gaze, seeking the wisdom he knows resides there. "Kenji-san," he whispers, the words a gentle imploration. "How do I let go of something that defines me?" Old Kenji steps closer, the wood of the floor creaking softly beneath his feet. He places a reassuring hand on Hiroshi's shoulder, his touch light yet grounding. "The heart," he says, his tone gentle yet firm, "is a vessel that must empty to be filled anew." Hiroshi nods slowly, the words settling into his soul like seeds in fertile earth, waiting to bloom. "But the memories," he murmurs, his hands shaping the clay with a tenderness that mirrors his inner turmoil. "How do I hold them without being held back?" Old Kenji smiles, a sage expression that speaks of battles fought and wisdom earned. "Memories," He replies, "Are guides, not chains. They light the path ahead if you let them." Hiroshi's fingers pause, hovering above the spinning clay as he absorbs the truth in Kenji's words. The silence stretches between them, a quiet, shared understanding. "Thank you, Kenji-san," Hiroshi says finally, his voice carrying the weight of gratitude and newfound clarity. Old Kenji nods, his eyes twinkling with a mischievous warmth that belies his years. "Ah, Hiroshi, remember, even the broken vessel can hold the beauty of gold." With a gentle squeeze of Hiroshi's shoulder, old Kenji turns and makes his way to the door. He pauses, glancing back, a soft smile playing on his lips. "May your creations bring you peace," he says, his words lingering in the air like a blessing. As old Kenji departs, Hiroshi turns back to his wheel, his hands moving with a renewed purpose. The clay beneath his fingers feels warmer, more forgiving, as if infused with the promise of healing and hope. The sun climbs higher in the sky, its light dancing across the room, illuminating the path Hiroshi has chosen to walk. Hiroshi stands before the kiln, the heat wrapping around him like an old embrace. His fingers move deftly over the clay, molding it with care and precision. Yuki's spirit lingers nearby, her presence felt in the gentle stir of air that whispers against his skin. "This was our future," Hiroshi murmurs, his voice a quiet echo in the workshop. The clay spins beneath his touch, absorbing the essence of his memories, the laughter and dreams they once shared. Yuki gazes at him, her eyes soft and reflective. "You always knew how to bring life from the earth," she says, her voice a gentle caress. "Our moments captured in your hands." Hiroshi nods, his heart a vessel filled with the bittersweet nostalgia of what once was. "I wanted to create something that could hold us beyond time." As the pot takes shape, its surface becomes a canvas for their story, etched with moments of joy and shadows of the promises left unfulfilled. "Do you remember?" Yuki asks, her tone wistful. "The first time we spoke beneath the cherry blossoms?" Hiroshi smiles, the memory vivid in his mind. "You were as beautiful as the spring, as fleeting as the petals that dance with the wind." The kiln hums with life, a quiet companion to their shared silence. Hiroshi's hands remain steady, guided by the rhythm of his heart. "This pot," he whispers, "it carries our laughter, our dreams. But it also carries the cracks," Yuki responds, a touch of sorrow in her voice. "The fractures of what couldn't be." Hiroshi pauses, his gaze meeting hers. "It's the imperfections that remind us we were real, that we lived, that we loved." Yuki reaches out, her ethereal hand almost touching the warmth of the clay. "You've captured us perfectly, in all our flawed beauty." The kiln releases its grip, revealing the pot, its surface a tapestry of their past. Hiroshi breathes deeply, absorbing the weight of its meaning. "Do you see it?" he asks, his voice a gentle inquiry. Yuki nods, her eyes shimmering with unshed tears. "It's beautiful, a testament to us." Hiroshi sets the pot aside, his heart full yet aching. "This is our legacy," he says softly, "but it's time to find a new path." Yuki smiles, a blend of sorrow and acceptance. "I will always be with you, Hiroshi, in every creation, in every whisper of the wind." As the day fades, the workshop fills with a quiet peace. He takes a deep breath, feeling the cool texture meld with his fingers. "Every creation is a new beginning," he murmurs, his voice a soft echo in the quiet workshop. The rhythmic turning of the wheel offers a comforting melody, a backdrop to his thoughts. As he shapes the clay, the past's burdens fall away, replaced by the promise of tomorrow. His movements are purposeful, each touch a whisper of renewal. The door creaks open and Emiko steps inside, her presence a quiet affirmation of the peace that fills the room. "It feels different here," she observes, her eyes scanning the transformed space. "Yes," Hiroshi replies, his focus never leaving the vessel taking form in his hands. "I think I've found my path. At last." Emiko approaches, her steps careful, her gaze gentle. "I can see it in your work, and in your eyes." A smile tugs at Hiroshi's lips, a reflection of his newfound serenity. It's as if the clay understands. It remembers, just like us. Outside, the village hums with life, the chatter of neighbors mingling with the distant song of birds. The air is crisp with the promise of spring, and the scent of cherry blossoms drifts through the open window. A fragrant reminder of the cycle of life. Emiko leans against the doorframe, watching her brother with quiet admiration. Old Kenji was right. Every end is just another beginning. Hiroshi nods, his hands steady and sure. He taught me that letting go is not the end, but a chance to embrace what comes next. The wheel spins steadily, the clay taking shape with a grace that matches the gentle rhythm of their conversation. Hiroshi's heart feels light, buoyed by the understanding that love, though it may change form, never truly leaves. "I think Yuki would have liked this one," he says, his voice filled with warmth. Emiko smiles, sensing the peace that now envelops him. "I'm sure she would have. It's beautiful." The clay vessel emerges from his hands, a testament to the beauty of transformation, etched with the hope of new beginnings. Hiroshi pauses, placing the piece gently on the shelf, its form a silent promise of the future. Together, they stand in the quiet workshop, their hearts attuned to the dance of the cherry blossoms outside, celebrating the endless cycle of life and renewal. Emiko stands at the threshold of Hiroshi's workshop, the morning sun casting a golden hue upon her as she watches her brother shape a new pot. The clay dances gracefully beneath his fingers, each touch a testament to his newfound peace. She steps inside, her footsteps almost silent against the wooden floor. "You found your path," she says softly, her voice blending with the rhythmic spin of the wheel. Hiroshi looks up, his smile gentle and reassuring. "Yes," he replies, "I think I have." His hands continue their dance with the clay, coaxing life into it with each tender caress. Emiko moves closer, her eyes tracing the lines of the pot. "What are you making?" "A vessel," Hiroshi answers, his voice a whisper of concentration. "For new beginnings. For hope." Emiko nods, understanding the weight of his words. She reaches out, touching the smooth surface of the clay. "It's beautiful, like your spirit has found its peace." Hiroshi pauses, meeting her gaze. "I owe much of that to you, to your patience, your love." Her eyes soften, filled with unspoken gratitude. "We all have our seasons, don't we?" she muses, watching the pot take shape. Some filled with blossoms, others with storms. "Yes," Hiroshi agrees, his hands steady and sure. "And it's the seasons that shape us, like the clay." The wheel slows to a stop and Hiroshi lifts the pot, admiring its simplicity. Every creation carries a part of its maker, he reflects, but it also becomes something new. Emiko smiles, feeling the warmth of his words. "Then let this be a season of renewal, for both of us." He sets the pot down gently, and together they step outside, the cherry blossoms dancing in the breeze. Their petals, caught in the gentle swirl of the wind, seem to nod in agreement. "Old Kenji was right," Hiroshi says, his eyes following the blossom's flight. "Love's journey is never truly over. It just changes form." Emiko glances at the distant figure of old Kenji, who watches them from afar, his presence a silent blessing. "And we are all part of that journey," she adds, feeling the truth resonate within her. Hiroshi takes a deep breath, the air filled with the sweet scent of impending spring. Let's embrace it, whatever it brings. Together, they stand beneath the cherry blossom tree, its branches a canopy of whispers and promises. The village hums with life around them, a symphony of voices and dreams unfolding anew. The evening sun lingers on the horizon, casting a golden hue over the village. Old Kenji stands by the window of his modest home, watching the cherry blossoms flutter in the gentle breeze. The air is thick with the scent of promise, and his heart swells with a quiet, newfound peace. Do you see, Kenji? His late wife's voice echoes in his memory, a soft whisper carried by the wind. Life moves in circles, like the seasons. Kenji nods to himself, feeling her presence as if she were standing beside him. I see it now, he murmurs, his eyes fixed on the distant cherry blossom tree. Its branches sway gracefully, emboldened by the love and loss they have witnessed. With purpose, Kenji steps into the fading light, his feet carrying him along the well-worn path to the tree. The petals beneath him crunch softly, a symphony of memories with each step. He pauses, a slight tremor in his hands as he reaches out to touch the rough bark. Are you well, old friend? Hiroshi's voice breaks the silence, gentle as the evening breeze. Kenji turns to find him standing nearby, his features softened by the twilight. Better than I have been in many years, Kenji replies, a warmth spreading through his chest. It seems that the old wounds finally know how to heal. Hiroshi nods, his gaze drifting to the horizon. And you? Have you found your peace amidst the petals? Kenji chuckles, a low, rumbling sound. I believe I have. The past may linger, but it no longer binds me. He takes a deep breath, the air fresh and full of possibility. This is what I wish for you, Hiroshi, for all of us. Hiroshi smiles, his eyes meeting Kenji's with understanding. The journey of the heart is as unpredictable as the wind, isn't it? Indeed, Kenji agrees, his voice touched with a knowing tenderness. But it is the unpredictability that makes it so profoundly beautiful. The two men stand in comfortable silence, watching as the cherry blossoms float gracefully to the ground, each one a testament to the cycle of life, love, and loss. Kenji feels a profound lightness, as if the years of regret have lifted, replaced with acceptance. Love's journey is never truly over, he whispers, more to himself than to Hiroshi, the words a gentle truth carried on the evening air. As the sun dips below the horizon, the village hums with life, a living ode to the promise of renewal. Kenji, with a heart unburdened, turns back toward his home, the path ahead clear and welcoming. The gentle murmur of the village blends with the clinking of teacups, the notes of a new day. Hiroshi stands at his pottery wheel, the clay supple beneath his fingers, an echo of the earth's quiet promise. Emiko enters, her presence a soft contrast to the room's earthy musk. It's different now, she says, her voice like the first sunlight, touching the hills. Your creations, they seem alive. Hiroshi nods, his hands smoothing the vessel into being. Every piece holds a whisper of renewal, he replies, the clay molding under his gentle touch. Even as it remembers, it forgets. Emiko smiles, her eyes tracing the lines of the pots lined up like silent sentinels. I can see your heart in them, she observes, a hint of admiration coloring her words. It's as if you found a way to let go. The cherry blossoms beyond the window sway in agreement, their petals a delicate cascade against the blue canvas of sky. Hiroshi pauses, his gaze following their ephemeral dance. Yes, he breathes, the word a serene acceptance. To let go is to hold on anew. Old Kenji approaches the threshold, observing with a silent wisdom that spans years. Ah, Hiroshi. He chuckles softly, the sound like leaves brushing against the earth. The village has missed your spirit. Hiroshi turns to him, gratitude woven into his expression. I owe much to your guidance, Kenji-san, he admits, bowing slightly. Kenji waves a hand dismissively, his eyes twinkling like the night sky. The heart must find its own path, he muses, leaning on his cane. We are but travelers in the corridors of time. Emiko pours tea, the aroma mingling with the sweet air. You've found peace, she comments, offering a cup to Kenji. And with it, we find our own. Hiroshi lifts his cup, the warmth seeping into his palms. To love, to loss, to beginnings, he toasts softly, his gaze meeting theirs with quiet strength. The village hums with life, each sound a testament to resilience. The old cherry blossom tree stands sentinel outside, its branches whispering stories to the wind. It watches over them all, a guardian of dreams yet to come. Together, they sip their tea, basking in the gentle warmth of a sun rising anew, a sun that promises healing in its light. As laughter spills into the air, Hiroshi knows the truth as surely as the clay beneath his hands. Some stories end to make room for others. And so, life continues. The sun hangs low in the sky, casting a golden glow over the village, its light filtering through the branches of the cherry blossom tree. Hiroshi stands, the pot a silent witness to their enduring bond. The clay remembers, and so does he. The moon casts a silver glow upon the dreamscape, where Hiroshi and Yuki stand at the edge of a serene lake, its surface mirroring the star-filled sky. Yuki's spirit, ethereal and radiant, faces him with a gaze that holds the weight of eternity. Do you remember this place? She asks, her voice as soft as the night breeze. Hiroshi nods, his eyes tracing the familiar contours of the landscape. We used to come here, he recalls, each word a gentle ripple in the stillness. We would talk about everything and nothing, dreams that seemed so endless. Yuki smiles, her presence as calming as the lull of the water lapping at the shore. Here, we can remain together, she whispers, her words an invitation wrapped in longing. Hiroshi's heart tugs between the comfort of her promise and the pull of a life waiting beyond this dream. He glances at the lake, at the stars reflecting. Like jewels in the water. It's beautiful, he murmurs, a hint of reluctance shadowing the edges of his voice. And yet, Yuki continues, stepping closer, this beauty holds us in a time that has passed, a memory that cannot breathe in the light of day. Hiroshi turns to her, the weight of her truth sinking in. Why does it have to be this way? He asks, his voice a fragile thread of hope and sorrow woven together. Yuki touches his hand, her fingers cool and light, like the mist that dances on the lake. Because life moves forward, as the river flows to the sea, she explains, her gaze steady and full of understanding. And we must move with it, or risk becoming lost in the currents of what once was. Silence envelops them, a sacred pause in which the world seems to hold its breath. Hiroshi closes his eyes, the echoes of laughter and shared dreams swirling around him like a gentle embrace. What do you wish for, Hiroshi? Yuki's question is a soft nudge against his thoughts. He opens his eyes, meeting hers with a newfound clarity. To honor what we had, but also to live beyond it, he replies, the words emerging with a strength he hadn't known he possessed. Yuki nods, her smile both sad and proud. Then find your way back to the waking world, she encourages, her form beginning to fade like the morning mist. Hiroshi watches as she dissolves into the starry night, the lake reflecting the eternal dance of light and dark. He stands alone now, the quiet acceptance of his path whispering through the trees. And so I shall, he promises to the emptiness, the resolve settling in his heart like a gentle dawn, ready to break through the horizon of dreams. The first light of dawn filters through the shoji screen, casting gentle patterns upon the tatami mat. Hiroshi sits up, his heart heavy with the remnants of a dream that clings like morning mist. He breathes deeply, his chest rising and falling with the weight of unspoken farewells. I must let you go, he whispers into the stillness, his voice barely more than a breath. The room responds with silence, a canvas awaiting the strokes of his resolve. Yuki's spirit, luminous and serene, stands beside him, her presence as gentle as the first snowfall of winter. I know, she replies, her voice a melody of acceptance and grace. Hiroshi reaches out, his fingers brushing against the ethereal light that forms her hand. We shared a life that was beautiful and fleeting. Yuki nods, her eyes reflecting the dawn's glow. Thank you for the moments that were ours, she says. The words hang between them, a bridge over the chasm of what once was. Together they rise, moving with quiet purpose through the house. The floor creaks softly underfoot, each step a testament to the memories etched into these walls. Outside, the air is crisp and clean, carrying the scent of earth and renewal. They walk to the cherry blossom tree, the ground beneath it a tapestry of fallen petals. The tree stands tall, its branches a canopy of whispered promises and unspoken dreams. Hiroshi kneels, placing the love letter at its roots, a token of the bond that transcends the boundaries of time. Yuki watches him, her form shimmering in the pale light. Your love? It gave me wings, she murmurs, her words a gentle caress against the dawn. Hiroshi looks up, meeting her gaze with eyes that hold both sorrow and gratitude. And you taught me to fly, he replies, his voice steady, now a testament to their shared journey. The wind stirs, a soft, mournful sigh through the blossoms. Hiroshi stands, drawing in a breath that carries the remnants of their shared past. Yuki steps back, her form beginning to dissolve into the air, a wisp of memory fading into the new day. Farewell, my love, she whispers, her voice an echo of spring's promise. As Yuki's spirit fades into the mist, Hiroshi turns, his heart lighter, the burden of his choice lifted like the morning fog. The cherry blossom tree sways gently, its petals falling like tears of joy and release, a silent witness to the love that endures, even in parting. Hiroshi stands beneath the cherry blossom tree, the dawn light casting a soft glow upon the petals, scattered like whispers upon the ground. Yuki's spirit stands beside him, her presence ethereal yet warm, like the first gentle breath of spring. Thank you for the beauty of your love, she says, her voice imbued with a tenderness that wraps around Hiroshi like a comforting embrace. Her ethereal form shimmers in the morning light, her smile a graceful farewell. Hiroshi nods, his heart swelling with the bittersweet knowledge of their parting. It was never just mine, was it? He replies, his words carrying the weight of all they shared and all that remains unsaid. He reaches out, his fingers brushing the air where her hand lingers, a touch that speaks of countless memories woven together. Together they walk to the base of the tree, their steps a silent rhythm that echoes their journey, both past and present. The ground is thick with petals, a carpet of soft pinks and whites, a testament to the transience of beauty. Hiroshi kneels, lowering his head as he places the worn love letter beneath the tree's watchful branches. Its paper rustles gently, a soft murmur that blends with the whispers of the wind. Yuki watches, her eyes reflecting the understanding and grace of her spirit. This is our moment to let go, to embrace what comes after. she says, her voice as soothing as the rustle of leaves in a spring breeze. Hiroshi closes his eyes, inhaling deeply. The air is filled with the scent of cherry blossoms, sweet and poignant. I will hold on to the joy and release the sorrow, he whispers, his words a pledge to himself, to Yuki, and to the life that awaits beyond the horizon. Yuki nods, stepping closer, her presence a gentle warmth that lingers, even as her form begins to fade into the mist-draped morning. "Live well, Hiroshi," she murmurs, her voice barely a breath upon the wind, yet filled with an eternal promise. The first light of day gilds the tree, casting shadows that dance upon the ground like spirits of past seasons. Hiroshi watches as Yuki's form dissolves, becoming one with the mist, the petals, and the air itself. The tree sways above him, its branches creaking softly, as if in acknowledgement of their shared history and promise of new beginnings. The morning air is crisp as Hiroshi and Yuki walk side by side toward the ancient cherry blossom tree. The soft crunch of fallen petals underfoot echoing like whispered farewells. Hiroshi holds the weathered love letter close, its presence a tender reminder of the bond they once shared. "Thank you for the beauty of your love," Yuki says, her voice gentle as she turns to face him, the warmth of spring illuminating her ethereal form. Hiroshi pauses, his gaze lingering on her eyes, the eyes that have seen through his soul. "It was your love that taught me to see the world anew," he replies, his words a delicate offering of gratitude and bittersweet farewell. They reach the tree, its branches swaying lightly in the cool breeze. Hiroshi kneels, placing the love letter beneath the roots, its paper fluttering like a whisper of past promises. "May this be a testament to what we once dreamed," he murmurs, the ground beneath him a sacred canvas of memories. Yuki watches him with a serene smile, her figure shimmering like the morning mist. "Our dreams were not in vain. They shaped us," she says softly, her voice carrying the music of hope. Hiroshi stands, noticing the first light of dawn painting the landscape in hues of gold and pink. He takes a deep breath, feeling the weight of his decision transform into a promise of renewal. "You will always be a part of me, woven into the very fabric of who I am," he declares, his eyes glistening with the sincerity of his heart. Yuki nods, accepting the truth of his words. "And you, a part of me," she replies, her form beginning to dissolve like the delicate petals that fall around them. As her presence fades, the tree sways gently, its blossoms cascading like tears, each petal a token of their enduring love. Hiroshi stands in silence, the morning sun warming his face as the village stirs to life around them. "I will cherish this," he whispers to the wind, his heart lighter, his spirit free to embrace the future. The cherry blossoms continue to fall, a silent celebration of love that transcends time, a dance of joy and sorrow that weaves through the tapestry of life, leaving behind a promise of new beginnings beneath the watchful gaze of the ancient tree. Hiroshi sits at his pottery wheel, the morning sun delicately pouring through the window, casting a gentle glow on the clay beneath his hands. Hiroshi stands at the entrance of his workshop, gazing at the horizon. "Do you think she sees us?" Emiko asks, her voice delicate as the petals that drift around them. Hiroshi nods thoughtfully. She sees, and she smiles. Emiko steps forward, her gaze firm yet gentle. "I found this," she says, holding out a small bundle wrapped in faded silk. "It's from Yuki, isn't it?" Her brother takes it, feeling the weight of memories within. "Yes," he replies quietly. "It's a token of our past, a whisper of what once was." With careful fingers he unties the silk, revealing a delicate hairpin, carved with plum blossoms. "She wore this the first day we met," Hiroshi recalls, his voice laced with nostalgia. Emiko smiles, brushing her fingers over the intricate design. "It's beautiful," like her spirit. Together, they move to the cherry blossom tree, the earth soft beneath their feet, the air alive with the fragrance of new beginnings. Hiroshi kneels, placing the hairpin beside the love letter, a tribute to a love that once filled the air with music. May it rest here, a guardian of stories told and untold. Emiko watches him, her heart swelling with a mix of pride and sorrow. "You've taught me that love transcends time," she says, her words wrapping around him like a warm embrace. Hiroshi looks up, his eyes meeting hers with a newfound clarity. "And you've shown me that letting go is also a form of love." The wind rises, scattering, petals in a dance of joy and remembrance. Hiroshi and Emiko stand side by side, their breaths synchronizing with nature's rhythm. "The seasons will change, but our love remains," Hiroshi murmurs, his voice steady, his heart lighter. Emiko nods, the breeze tousling her hair. "Yes, and as long as we remember, she will always be with us." Their hands find each other, a silent promise shared between siblings, their bond as enduring as the earth itself. The village bustles with life, the laughter of children echoing through the streets, an anthem of renewal. Hiroshi returns to his pottery wheel, the clay soft beneath his hands, shaping a future, molded by the past. "This is our legacy," he whispers, the wheels spinning beneath his touch, a dance of creation born of love and loss. The cherry blossoms flutter, filling the air with their gentle presence, a reminder of the eternal cycle of life, and the promise of what comes next. The sun sets gently over the village, casting a golden hue upon the pottery workshop. Hiroshi stands at the entrance, watching the villagers gather beneath the cherry blossom tree. Each step he takes toward them is measured, as if finding a new rhythm in the dance of life. Emiko approaches him, her eyes warm with understanding. "The tree seems brighter today," she observes, her voice dancing on the evening breeze. Hiroshi nods, a soft smile gracing his lips. "It always did hold the light of our dreams," he murmurs, glancing at the blossoms swaying like a sea of memories. Old Kenji joins them, his presence as comforting as a forgotten lullaby. "The villagers say your pottery holds the spirit of the blossoms," he remarks, his voice tinged with admiration. "How do you shape such beauty?" Hiroshi considers the question, his hands tracing the air as if molding an invisible clay. "It's the stories we share," he responds, the words weaving with the night's song. "Each piece carries a whisper of the past, a touch of the future." Emiko listens, the quiet strength of her brother's transformation filling her with a deep gratitude. "And your heart, is it at peace now?" she asks, her inquiry gentle yet probing. Hiroshi meets her gaze, the weight of the years lightened by newfound clarity. "Yes, Emiko. I've learned to let go, to cherish without clinging." His eyes shift to the village, alive with laughter, and the soft rustle of nature's embrace. Old Kenji chuckles softly, the sound like leaves stirring in a summer wind. "You've grown wise, Hiroshi. Perhaps I should come to you for guidance now." Hiroshi laughs, the sound ringing pure and true. "You've taught me, Kenji-sensei, to move forward, to hold the past with open hands." As the night deepens, the villagers gather around a small fire, the flickering flames casting shadows that dance with the spirit of the blossoms. Hiroshi steps forward, presenting a new pot, its surface reflecting the delicate interplay of light and shadow. "For the village," he says, his voice carrying the weight of gratitude and renewal. "May it hold our stories, our dreams, our shared path." The villagers receive it with gentle reverence, their murmurs a chorus of unity and hope. Emiko stands beside her brother, her heart swelling with pride. The cherry blossoms flutter overhead, their petals drifting like whispers of eternity. And as Hiroshi gazes up, He feels the embrace of Yuki's spirit, her presence now woven into the very fabric of his being. "Thank you," he whispers to the night, a solemn vow to honor what was and what will be. Together, they watch the flames flicker, the village alive with the promise of tomorrow.